take a step back before I get all up in your
remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
You're the dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Jerry's gonna get him.
Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Mr. FSP, that would be me, proudly presents Fantasy Sports and Politics. Listen, it's going to be a good show. It might not be as long as we've had over the past couple weeks, but it should be a good show. We're going to talk about the 4 teams remaining in the hunt for the Super Bowl. Got a question. Could it be the same 2 teams that opened up the season? And we know how that went. Or will it be what everybody predicts? We'll see. Got some theories on that too. We're going to talk about the hirings in the NFL. This cycle around, or this time around, it's only been 2 retreads. Now, when I say retreads, one left professional football and went to college and has returned. The other, I don't think, got a real fair shake in their previous opportunity, and now they get a new one. But is it really a fair shake? We'll talk about the quarterback that wants to play for him. We'll get there. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening in and liking already. Because if you woke up, you're winning. That's from my boy James Hemsley. And of course, I'm going to bring in my co-host, who's an excellent commercial reader. And that would be JT ATM Money. We're not going to read the commercial right now. But JT, how are you today?
What's up, my man? How you doing?
You got that lion shirt on like you ready to roar. What's going on?
It's good to be the king.
Well, I'm saying you got a lion shirt on. I got Debo on. So what's happening, Captain? What the business is?
What do they call it? What do they call the lion? The king of the jungle.
Ooh, I smell something. We're gonna see about it.
Are you okay? You've been touching something or what? Are you all right? I'm just asking.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm not trying to start something.
You had me shook. You had me shook on that one. Okay. No, I've been touching nothing.
Okay.
But that shirt versus my shirt, I smell an opportunity right around the corner. We're gonna have Q come in a little later on. He's running a little late. But let's talk about the pressing stuff right now, and then we'll transition to the games, because the games I think are really easy, in my opinion. And I want to get Q's opinion. So we'll start with this. You have gone on record by saying that the coaches of yesteryear, my time frame, and those that you're familiar with, that meaning the coaches I grew up with, you had already known because they were already there.
Yep.
But I grew up with them, and now it's time for them to step aside.
Yep.
And the new breed to come in. And then during this coaching cycle, it seems as though that's going to happen. We still have not Ken Wisenhunt. Oh my goodness. We still have Dan Quinn interviewing with Washington and other places. That will be a surprise to me if Washington goes with Dan Quinn, especially with Seattle supposedly wanting him. You see a lot of young talent. I'm worried. I really am worried about Tennessee. I'll tell you why when we get to it. But Harbaugh and Raheem Morris, only 2 retreads. still young in the game, so to speak, but the only 2 retreads this year. So far, what are your thoughts?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, there was what, 6 openings, something like that,
7 openings.
and 2 were filled by minorities, and 3. I'm sorry, 3.
Yeah.
Gerard Mayo, Raheem
Yep.
Morris, and I'm trying to think who the other one was.
Antonio Pierce.
Antonio Pierce. Thank you. That slipped my mind because he had been in a position as an interim before.
Mm-hmm.
And surprisingly enough, and this doesn't happen often, you and I know this, doesn't happen often, the minority gets a second chance. Raheem Morris is a retread, so to speak, because when he was 32, about 15 or so years ago, he was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers head coach when he wasn't given a good team. Let me put it that way. And he only got a short chance to so to speak, turn around that team, and it didn't happen, and he got dismissed summarily. So, like I said before, man, I said this weeks ago when all these coaches got fired that I would find it hard for Bill Belichick and Pete Carroll, because they're the older of the coaches in the league, to find a place to go to coach these new players. It's a new era, man. It's a new era. Okay, I still believe that an older gentleman, just like myself, is, I'll say this, serviceable. But in this fast-changing sport of football, those older coaches are left behind. And I said that. I said this before. They were left behind early in it. I said it early that I would find it hard for any of these coaches, the older coaches, to find a spot. And it's like you said, it's told true. So I'm thinking Raheem Morris. I can't recall, and I didn't look it up, what part of the offense that he was part of when he was a coach, because he coached both sides of the ball. He coached both sides of the ball in offense, and he's also coached defense. So we've got
has to be receivers, has to be, because I don't see him coaching the line, tight ends, or running backs, and he wasn't a quarterback coach. The natural progression for a defensive back coach would be to coach wide receivers, because of the technique that a DB would use versus a receiver, and you have to know how the receivers are. Just my thoughts. That's what I would think. I'm not saying that's what it is, but that's my thought.
Okay. Like I said, I before the show I didn't look it up, but it's been said that he had coached 2 sides of the ball, the offense and the defense. So supposedly, in my opinion, he's a well-rounded coach, and he's highly respected in the league, especially by the players and these today players. That's key to today's players.
Yeah.
So I think, let me put it this way. It's good and bad for me. It's good and bad because he went to Atlanta, and it's bad for me because he went to Atlanta. Because I
want you to say that thought. I want you to save that thought.
Okay.
We have a commercial break because we got to bring in our third wheel.
Okay.
So we got a spot that needs to be read.
Okay.
And we'll bring in our third wheel after the spot. This show has been brought to you by
624 Coffee Company. Hey, hero, don't be a zero. 15% off military discount at 624coffeecompany.com. For more info, visit the website, verify status. Stop drinking dirty water, people. You deserve great coffee. Great coffee for great people. That's 624 Coffee Company.
All right. With that being said, we'll bring in our third wheel, Q, and he's wearing his Ohtani Dodgers shirt already. and his Dodgers hat.
It should say Beast. It should say Beast on it.
Should.
I'm ready. I'm transitioning to baseball.
Oh,
well, we got a month, bro. But we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk. All right.
You stink in fantasy baseball, man. Come on.
No, I don't. I won the championship 2 years ago, and last year I finished in third. Now, prior years, but we're not there. You know what? You're not going to do that.
Wait a minute. I beat Q. I beat him up so badly and talking about him, how bad he was. He had to put his nose to the grindstone and learn more about fantasy baseball in order to do what he did the last 2 years. Because before that, oh man, he sucked.
Well, you know what? We're gonna be honest. Q. We're gonna be honest. His mother is the one that gave me the key to success.
Oh, stop. No.
Not him.
Don't even
Jerry's
try.
mom, who happens to know baseball way better than him,
gave
me a pep talk, and that inspired me.
That just goes to show you
that you didn't listen.
No,
but we're not on baseball.
That goes to show you.
Look what you done did, Q.
That goes to show you that an older person can give you knowledge that a young person needs.
Yes, and you didn't listen to her, but I did. But anyway, I wanted to.
What's up, fellas? First of all, let me say hi. How you doing?
Exactly.
Hope you guys are doing good. Jerry,
yes, we are.
Jerry, I just got one question for you, Jerry.
What's that?
If you know Vic sucks at fantasy football, what makes you think he's going to be good at fantasy baseball?
Hey, Q, you about to catch these hands, man. Just like Tori said, I'm about to get you off the show saying that.
Q, you know what they say about a squirrel, right?
What?
Squirrel finds a nut.
Okay. All right, listen.
Squirrel finds two nuts.
Here's
Whatever.
Here's what we're gonna do. Listen. Here's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
We're gonna, when baseball season starts in March, right? Mm-hmm. Me and Q will host the show. You can come in if you want, JT.
Okay. No problem.
Chris wants to talk about his Cubs. He'll be the Cub aficionado.
Okay. They could tell Chris they need way more than Cody Bellinger to be relevant.
You can tell him he's watching right now. But
I know he's watching. That's why I said it.
Okay, we're not on baseball. Let me get back to the Atlanta thing.
You got a hater, man.
Oh my God. I'm trying to get back to Atlanta.
You got a hater.
You know the Cubs are gonna win one World Series every 100 years. Oh, so you got one for 100 years, Chris.
Okay, moving on. Here's the deal.
It's out of control already.
I know. I'm about to mute y'all. I really am. The thing you brought up about Atlanta, about knowing both sides of the ball, is important because I think Cam Newton was on NFL Good Morning Football and said the only team he would want to play for is Atlanta because of his family, so on and so forth. And I can see Cam Newton with those weapons being effective. Now, here's the thing.
He's shot.
Well, here's the thing.
Cam Newton.
Raheem Morris beat out a 2-time interview of Bill Belichick, arguably the best NFL head coach to coach. Belichick might not get that opportunity to pass Don Shula this season. He might have to sit out a year and come back. But that speaks volumes. I see what he wrote. I'm not going to dignify.
He's right.
I'm not going to dignify Chris.
Share. I want to laugh too.
Because I think both of them shot. He's right.
Whatever. Can I finish my statement, please?
Go ahead. Because I got more on Atlanta. Go ahead.
I know. I'm trying to get to it.
Go ahead. Come on, man. Go ahead.
So,
hurry up.
Jerry has been muted. All right. Now, we're going to move forward. The thing that I see here is what Jerry was saying. The newer or the younger talent working with the older coach and coaching style. I think that is a real big turnoff for these owners who are the same age as the coaches that are the winning coaches, if not older. Atlanta has a slew of talent, But my question is, can Raheem Morris bring it out of him? And who's going to be his quarterback? I don't think it's going to be Desmond Ridder. I don't think it's going to be Taylor Heineke. They're in a position to draft a quarterback. Are they going to do that? All right, JT, go ahead.
All right, man. I said this is good and bad for Raheem Morris. Okay. The good is because Raheem Morris got another opportunity, and he does, like you said, has a lot of talent in that. And the key is, I said this many a time, pay attention to the head coach and pay attention to the offensive coordinator. And it's key in Raheem Morris's hiring what offensive coordinator he gets, because he's got talent. He's got talent on that team. The wide receiver, and I just found this out. I don't know if you guys knew this. Kyle Pitts was dealing with a knee issue all season, and that's probably why he was up inconsistent with his the way they used him. And also Bijan Robinson. Okay, so he got weapons on 3 different powerful positions: wide receiver, running back, and tight end. Just need a quarterback. Pay attention to like I said, to the offensive coordinator. and the other thing I wanted to say.
We'll talk about them in a minute, Q.
And the negative thing I wanted to say about this is because they said Raheem Morris, who is an African American head coach, goes to a predominantly African American city.
Okay.
That's okay. That, I mean, they were picking head coaches other than Bill Belichick to go to Atlanta. Why? Because it's an African American city. Come on, man. That's the negative part of what I'm thinking. Okay, but it's a positive because he got another chance, and he also was a coach with Atlanta at one point, and they thought highly of him. Yeah. And the fact is, Rich McKay, who happens to be in the front office of the Atlanta Falcons and on the competition committee in the NFL, and Bill Parcells are like oil and water.
Belichick. Belichick,
Bill,
not Parcells.
Oh, yeah, Bill Belichick. It's like oil and water. They didn't get along with each other. They haven't gotten along with each other to this day. And I also found out that Arthur Blank is a micromanager, which is a problem in that organization. And they reorganized that organization.
Allegedly, because you don't know for sure, but people probably say things. But let's move to Q and get his thoughts on it, because he's a Raiders fan who we're going to talk about in a minute. But your thoughts on Raheem Morris getting the Atlanta Falcons job versus Bill Belichick, who interviewed twice, and all the other candidates?
First of all, I want to say I'm a real fan, and I stick to one team, unlike you, wearing jerseys from multiple teams. That is so embarrassing, bro. Embarrassing. You would never catch me wearing another football team's jersey, bro. What's wrong with you?
Nobody wants to hear from Q today. Like Tori said, nobody wants to hear from Q today. Thank you, Tori. You my dude today. All right, but talk about the Atlanta thing.
Hey, let me tell you, I don't see how Bill Belichick is gonna coach again in the NFL. If he didn't get a job this year, what makes you think that when he turns 74 years old next year, somebody's gonna give him a job? Totally. You think his ego is gonna let him lose control of whatever he had built up? No. So I think his time is done. I think his time in the NFL is done. And I like that hire for Atlanta. You know, I think just like the Raiders messed up when they didn't hire Bisaccia, the Falcons messed up when they didn't hire what's his name the first time. So I think this is a good hire for them, and I think they're they might win their division next year. I like it.
Yeah, because he was an interim coach for Atlanta when they let go of I forget the coach that they fired while he was there.
Yeah.
He was the interim coach, and as JT said, Arthur Blank is familiar with him and likes him and stuff like that. So that's a good point. It's only 2 job openings left, right? It's only 2 left: Seattle and Washington.
And let me interject this real quick. Also, in the Bill Belichick non-hire, Bill Belichick, like I had said earlier, wanted too much control.
I believe that was the case as well.
Yeah, he wanted to
believe that was the case.
He wanted too much control, and they weren't about to give it up.
Okay, let's move on to Q's team real quick. We now stay too long on these hires because we got to talk about the games. But the Raiders stay in house. They keep Antonio Pierce, but they don't keep the GM, the interim GM, and they still kept the president for now. Your thoughts on Antonio Pierce getting that hire, Q?
I think it was a great hire. The only person that I would have conceded that job opening to was Jim Harbaugh. If it wasn't Jim Harbaugh, then I'm really okay with that Antonio Pierce hire. You know, I think the team is gonna play good under him, and they do play hard for him. And then they keep the GM. He's the assistant general manager now, so he stayed in that. He's just gonna keep that role. So I think the Raiders we're like a quarterback away, man. We're only a quarterback away from competing.
Yep.
Well, that GM has ties to Justin Fields, and it was rumored that if he was hired, he would bring in Justin via trade. But I'm thinking, just go ahead and get Jalen Daniels with your pick if he falls to you, because
I don't think he's going to fall to 13, but I do see the Raiders trading up to get Jaden Daniels. Me personally, I would take Jaden Daniels over Justin Fields. But if we couldn't get Jaden Daniels, I wouldn't mind having Justin Fields if Cliff Kingsbury becomes our offensive coordinator. Yeah. I think that would be good.
And they did interview him for that position.
And
go ahead, JT.
That's man. I wouldn't say that the blast from the past, but Cliff Kingsbury, where he thought he zoomed to Thailand and
he's making a whole lot of money.
Yeah, I know he's making a whole lot of money, and he can spend it well in Thailand. But
he did. That's why he's back already.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Q.
Anyway, Cliff Kingsbury. That's ooh. Okay.
Hey, he's not me and myself. I don't think Kingsbury is a good head coach, but he is a really good offensive coordinator, bro. Look at his track record. His track record with quarterbacks, it's legit.
Okay.
And that tells me that the Raiders are going to go away from the ground and pound to the wide open, because that's what he did with Pat Mahomes at Texas Tech. That's what he did with Kyler Murray when he joined the NFL. It's his MO. Up-tempo, spread the ball. You're going to run the ball, but you're not going to run it with a fullback. You're going to probably be single back, do some pistol, do some shotgun, and stuff like that. That means the Raiders are not going to keep what's
Jacob.
old boy?
Jacob.
Oh, no, Josh Jacobs.
I was just about to say that
because Zamir White had 2 100-yard games at the end of the season. Younger, bigger.
I was just going to say that these coaching hires and players in the league, you better be on your toes in fantasy football, because there's going to be some surprising guys that are going to emerge this season.
It's a new era of football, man. I don't think the ground and pound is here to stay that much. There's always going to be like 2-3 teams in the whole league. That's it. But most of them are going to be airing it out.
Well, I don't know about that. I would, let me put it this way. I think that ground and pound is still here because there's offensive coordinators that love play action. So you're going to get guys that do the ground and pound because they want their quarterback to have a play action behind it, and it's not effective if you don't try to run the ball.
With that being said, we're going to transition to the Los Angeles Chargers. Jim Harbaugh comes back. He's a ground and pound type of coach.
Yep.
Austin Eckler, they're probably not going to bring him back.
Nope.
It is what it is. But he just won a championship with a short, stocky power back in college who's actually coming out of college in Corum. And maybe, just maybe, the Chargers change their identity to protect Justin Herbert. And we think about it this way. Harbaugh has a winning track record as a head coach from college through professionals. He took a team with Colin Kaepernick to the Super Bowl. He was one catch away from winning a Super Bowl with a ground and pound offense in San Francisco and hard-nosed defense and a mobile quarterback. Herbert isn't a mobile quarterback. The defense in with the Chargers, they're going to have to cut some fat, meaning they got great players, but it's too much money being spent.
Older players.
Older and too much money.
Yeah.
So I think ground and pound might be the new identity of the Chargers with the type of coach they got and the things they're going to have to do. But since we're talking about it, what are your thoughts on the Chargers picking up Harbaugh, JT?
I think it's the uptick for Justin Herbert. He's got an offensive-minded coach. He's got a coach that can get the best out of his quarterbacks. He had Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick wasn't one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He was a mobile quarterback, and he helped get Colin Kaepernick and company to the Super Bowl. Okay, so I think he's going to benefit the offense. Definitely, I shouldn't say the offense. The team is going to benefit for a coach, Jim Harbaugh, because he's a team builder. He knows how to build a team, and he also got more power than just a typical head coach. He got more power in order to be able to build a team that he can be comfortable with. So,
okay, let's move on to Q.
I think it's a really good hire. I think the Chargers are definitely going to benefit from it. Like, I think their offense is going to go to another level. And the rumor around here, like LA Sports and stuff, is that he's targeting Bowers, that big tight end from Georgia, for his system. So, I mean, if that's the truth, that's going to be a sick offense, man. And I really like it. I hate the Chargers, but I think the AFC West is going to be one of the best divisions next year.
Let me just put this: the Chargers have gone away from it for the last few years, but the Chargers were one of the strongest teams in highlighting the tight end for so long. They were one of the teams that really brought the tight end position to the forefront up until this last few years.
Eric Coryell.
So
Kellen Winslow.
Antonio Gates. Come on, man. You got two premier Hall of Fame tight ends coming out of the Chargers. Okay. That's what I'm saying. You got that history, and be it that Jim Harbaugh is coming there, I got to believe he's going to bring that history back and have a strong tight end position that Justin Herbert can benefit from.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. The question Chris asked: when will the Chargers make the playoffs? If the West is as competitive as Q believes it's going to be, and I think it's going to be, it might be a year or two. It might be not this upcoming year, but maybe the year after that, 2026. But we'll see, in my opinion. Because when you do a regime change, He has to bring people in
Yep.
that's going to believe in his system and is going to execute his system.
Out with the old, in with the new.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you got to remember, he just finished being a college head coach, so he's going to have a big advantage in the draft.
Yep.
He's gonna get some good players from college.
Oh, yeah.
But those college players have to transition smoothly to the NFL, which doesn't always happen. That's what I mean. It might take a year or two.
He's a good talent builder too. So
he is. Great evaluator of talent and using them to their strengths.
Yep.
Which is good. Speaking of which, I don't know about Tennessee. I don't know if I like this Callahan signing as their head coach. I listened to his press conference. He sounded more like a dictator than a coach coming in, getting their first opportunity and trying to build excitement. He was like, I'm going to lay down the law, as if Mike Vrabel wasn't. That's the way it sounded to me. I don't know if he sounded that way. And he read his statement. There was no real emotion or anything like that. It was like red, but the emotion came when he was pounding on the podium, whatever the case may be. But I really don't think Tennessee's going to do that well with him. You got to remember, if he's the offensive coordinator for Cincinnati, they had a lot of talent, and then they had to get Joe Burrow to execute that talent or make sure things were running smoothly. I think we all can agree that Will Levis is no Joe Burrow. He might have a cannon of an arm. He might even improve his accuracy a little bit, but I think his decision-making is still lacking. And with the team being older and letting go of their of Derrick Henry, well, not yet, but supposed to let go of Derrick Henry, letting go of Tannehill, letting go of other players, I think he's going to have the toughest hill to climb out of all the new coaches. All right, you got something to say? Go ahead, JT.
Word is that his father, which is Bill Callahan, the offensive line coach in Cleveland, is going to join him. Which he used to be a head coach. He's got some head coaching experience, and he can help us. He can help his son along the way. So, if Callahan, I don't know if it's been an official or not. If he does come to Tennessee, that's a positive tick mark for his son, because anywhere Bill Callahan has gone, he's built up the offensive line.
Yep,
he's improved the offensive line substantially, and I expect that he's a good evaluator of offensive linemen, so he can help the whole Tennessee organization in picking up good offensive linemen for the scheme they're going to run.
Hopefully. What do you think, Q? Do you even worry
First
about?
First of all, I didn't even know this person existed on planet Earth until they hired him.
Oh my God.
I'm serious, bro. What you want me to tell you? I might get grief for this, but to me, this is like nepotism at its finest. But I just think Zach Taylor was the one calling the offensive plays in Cincinnati. So I don't know how good this guy is. I didn't even know he existed, for real. You know, as soon as the name Callahan came out, I put two and two together, and then I heard that it was his son. So I like, from what I know, is that Zach Taylor was still calling the plays in Cincinnati. So how is he gonna get promoted all the way to head coach when? I mean,
well, let me say this: just because you're an offensive coordinator, and there's no knock on anybody, just because you're an offensive coordinator doesn't mean you call the plays. Okay, just because you're the offensive coordinator, you just put the offensive plan together.
I'm not here to make friends today.
I know that. Don't worry about it.
Tori's coming for you, bro. He's coming for you.
I'm right here.
What I'm saying is this: you're the offensive coordinator. You put the offensive plan together. You may not be the best play caller. The head coach may be a better play caller, or whoever may be a better play caller. So this is what is happening in what happened in Cincinnati, but it happens in a lot of teams. It happens in a lot of teams. Look, and this was a collaboration. Look what they do in Kansas City. Eric Bieniemy was the offensive coordinator. He didn't call all the plays. He called some plays, but he didn't call all the plays because Andy Reid had a hand in it. Now, he's not the offensive coordinator. Quite naturally, he's not with Washington anymore. But the offensive coordinator, I can't remember his name right now. Matt Nagy, I think it is.
Yes.
Okay. I don't think he calls all the plays. I think Andy Reid still has a structure that he gets involved in calling plays also. And also this. I just learned this past week. And not because I'm a homer, it's because I just learned this last week.
Oh God!
Just listen to me. Just listen.
I'm listening. I didn't say anything.
Okay.
I said, "Oh God."
Well, you just said, "Oh God." Okay, that means a shutout. That means you don't want to listen.
No,
okay.
no, it doesn't. Just go.
Okay. What I understand is happening in Cleveland, and it's happening in other teams too. That they have an offensive coordinator, but they also have a. Let me put it this way: they have a passing coordinator. Passing offensive coordinator, and they have a run offensive coordinator. They just hired Deuce Staley as the running back coach in Cleveland. Now they're looking for an offensive, and I think that's why they got rid of Alex Van Pelt, because Alex Van Pelt didn't want to share the load. He didn't want it to be passing and running back. That's what the trend is. To have an offensive and a passing and running coordinator collaboration versus one person dictating the offense.
Yeah, I've seen that trend as well. I knew where you're going with that. Whereas they all report to the offensive coordinator, who's running all the meetings, but the run game coordinator and the pass game coordinator. They're pretty much, the quarterback coach and receivers coach. One of them is going to be it. And, the running back coach and the tight end coach. Tight ends might go with linemen or whatever. But, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. In this situation, we're talking about Callahan being a first-time coach, bringing in people that can help him develop his leadership style.
Yep.
His dad would be a good hire to be a sounding board and to give him advice. But at the same time, like you said, it sounds like nepotism. But you know what? I would love to have, if my father and I had that type of relationship or whatever, and we were able to do that, I'd love to do that. To me, that's what Kyle Shanahan did with his son. I mean, with his dad, Mike Shanahan.
Mike, yeah.
So it's one of those opportunities. Hey, look, it's not a bad thing as long as it's working. And I think it's going to take a little bit of time for Tennessee to get things working with all the deficits they're about to face. It's going to be a really young team, but we'll see.
Like I don't have a problem with all these coaches getting jobs, but man, you got coaches that have been assistant coaches for like 15, 20 years, and they still can't get a shot at a head coaching job. And then you got all these coaches like 2-3 years in the league, and bam, already a coach. Like, it's crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't know. This kid's hurting. I mean, this kid's hating on all of us, Q.
No, look.
He's hating on all of us.
No, he normally hates on me and supports you two. So I'm glad today he's on my side. Normally he's on y'all's side.
Yeah.
Well, you must have sent us some money before the show to be on your side.
I did not. I'm trying to get some.
Well,
but hey, I just hit it big on some helmets too, man. I got a Peyton Manning. I got a Josh Allen flex. I got a Kyle Pitts. I got a Mac Jones. I got an Alvin Kamara. I was about to get a Chris Olave.
Oh, you can use that Mac Jones for a garbage can.
Hey, isn't Chris a Patriot fan?
Well, he was a Brady fan, which was for the Patriots. Then he was a Tampa Bay fan with Tom Brady. Now, because he lives in Florida, he is a Bucks fan.
I need to answer that guy Felix. At least Antonio Pierce, at least he was just the interim coach for like 8 games, bro. And they saw that what he could do. At least he was put out there and he did and he performed. What have all these other guys done? Nothing.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. Here's how you get at Torrey. Torrey's a Charger fan.
Oh God. No wonder.
His interim coach didn't win a game.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. At least Antonio Pierce proved it.
They have a saying, and I'll say it: "Forgive him, Lord, for he knows not what he speaks."
Thank you, Terry.
Oh Lord.
Thank you.
God, if he's the Charger fan and he's got nerve to talk, come on, man.
Okay, I'm gonna let y'all go back and forth, but let's get into these games. Now, I'm wearing this jersey for a specific reason. I had no idea that JT was going to be wearing a Lions shirt. I had no idea.
King of the
We
jungle.
did not coordinate this.
King of the jungle.
And we're going to talk about that game first. After we have this break and this read by our one and only JT. This show is sponsored by
625 coffee.
624.
Hey, hero, don't be a zero. 15% off military discount. 624coffeecompany.com for more info. Visit the website, verify status, stop drinking dirty water. You deserve great coffee. Great coffee is for great people. That's 624 Coffee
Company.com. All right. With that being said, because
tell your boy Felix that Antonio Pierce got done playing football like 10 years ago, and he's been doing coaching at all different levels for like the last 10 years.
Now listen, Jerry, I'm going to tell you something. Chris does what I do. He did it longer than me, so he's listening to every word. So he heard cow flea, not coffee. So when you talk about me digging on you on how you pronounce stuff,
I'm
just telling you.
I heard the 625 too.
I know, man.
It starts with F and it ends with you know what and you. Okay.
Oh,
so what? So what? God. You know what I said.
Okay. All right.
Man. Come on, man.
Anyway.
624 Coffee Company.
Yes, .com.
Don't hey, it's my accent. What can I tell you? I don't care. I got a Jersey accent, so I don't care.
Yeah, you do got a Jersey accent, bro, and attitude too. But let's talk about this game, JT.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Debo's playing.
Okay.
And I'm telling you right now, I'm picking San Fran. Okay. Detroit's secondary is so suspect. And Kyle Shanahan has a tendency to run the ball, but then when he sees that the passing game's going, he forgets how to run the ball. And that's Detroit's weakness. They have a problem stopping the pass. They can stop the run. They're one of the best teams at stopping the run. But they're averaging 364 passing yards in the last 2 games. Brock Purdy is not an elite quarterback. I'm sorry, people. He's not. But he can get 364 yards in a game throwing to Kittle, throwing to Ayuk, throwing to Debo, throwing to CMC.
Wait a minute. Say that again. Who'd you name first? Say that again.
I said Debo.
No, you said Kittle.
I didn't say Kittle first. I said Kittle, but I didn't say Kittle first. Get off his sack.
Okay.
But
you said Kittle, didn't you? You did say Kittle. Okay.
Again, as I said, Purdy can go for 364 yards versus them. Thank you, Tori. Hey, we always love you, brother. Come on whenever you want to and drop some stuff. We got you. But the problem is San Francisco has looked sluggish. By all rights, Green Bay should have won that game. I'm going to keep it real. But it was the first game back off of a bye because they only played a couple of snaps in the last game of the regular season. First game of the playoffs. This will be the second game of the playoffs, and the Super Bowl will be the third game of the playoffs. I'm picking San Fran in a 4-point victory, 38-34 over Detroit. Detroit, you are a man. This will be your first time ever going to the Super Bowl, and you got a good shot. A good shot. But I don't see it happening. Go ahead, JT.
Okay. This is difficult for me because
Can you speak up? Because I know your wife is a Charger. I mean, is a 49er fan, and you're about to upset her. That's why you're speaking so low.
No, I'm in thought here. No, this is difficult for me because the Detroit Lions are a very good team, and they can run. They have the 49ers have a good run defense, but they struggle. They struggle with pass catching running backs.
Yeah.
They struggle with pass catching running backs.
Yep.
Okay. And they do have one hammer that can catch the football, and then they have a dynamic running back in Jahmyr Gibbs that can also catch the football in the within the tackles and outside in space. And they struggle with running backs in space. I expect not a 7-point game. I think a 7.5, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
I don't expect that to happen. I expect this to be a closer game. I know that Detroit gives up a lot of yardage. I know Detroit struggles with receivers. Okay. But they do have a decent pass rush. They do have a decent run defense. Okay. And what do the 49ers do the most and like to do best is run the football. Key number one is to stop CMC. Plain and simple. He's the most dynamic back, and he took over that game last week to win the game for him. They're not going to let that happen. Detroit is going to do everything in their power to not let that happen. I like the San Francisco 49ers to win this game.
Okay, I was ready to make a bet with you with that Lions shirt on, but okay, I'll back out. Q, what you got?
Me, I think the Detroit Lions are the younger version of the San Francisco 49ers. Same exact team, just younger players, right? When I boil all that down, the only difference to me is the quarterback. So you're going to give me Brock Purdy and you're going to give me Jared Goff? I'm going with the Detroit Lions.
Straight up?
Straight up to win the game, to go to the Super Bowl.
I got 100.
I'm not taking that bet.
That's all I needed to hear, because you don't believe. But
I do believe, but I'm just a nice guy like that.
I love you, Q. I love you, brother. All right.
See, if that was me, I'm listening to this. If that was me,
oh Lord, here we go.
I get all kinds. Oh, you ain't got no heart. You don't believe nothing. You ain't nothing. You don't believe. You just talking to be talking.
Oh,
that's what I would have got.
Oh,
that's what I would have got.
Yeah, you would have got that, Jerry. You sure would have.
Yeah,
because I know you. Tori's challenging you, JT.
Listen, I just think if it really is a NFL script, then it will be Baltimore and the Niners. But if there isn't, I just think Detroit at this moment right now, Detroit is a better team than the Niners. I wouldn't put all my money at stake on Brock Purdy. I don't care what anybody tells me. I don't care. I seen him play against a really, really top 5 teams. Hey, he's not good. I don't care what anybody says. You can't make me change my mind.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
Jordan Love should have won that game.
That's what I said. Green Bay should have won that game.
You're right. He should have won that game. It's just the because they exploited the 49ers weaknesses.
Yes.
Big time. Big time.
They did.
Big time. And it's the first time Brock Purdy had to come back. The first time he had to come back. They scored 10 points. 10 points to win that game in the fourth quarter. Otherwise, they quite naturally we know what the outcome would have been. So
well, the defense stepped up. Greenlaw in particular, 2 interceptions and made that happen. But JT, the question Tori has for you is: are y'all gonna make a prop bet on the receiving yards for the Lions?
You should know that answer already.
Okay, you let him know.
Hey, I'm not a big betting person. Okay, I really got to be moved. I really got to be moved.
In other words, he needs to be antagonized.
Let me put it this way. I'll say this. Throughout the whole football season, everybody was making bets. These two were making bets left and right. I only told Victor about one teaser ticket that I wanted to play throughout the whole season.
That's true.
And it came through. So I pick my spots. I don't bet on I have to have a certain feeling. And I didn't have the certain feeling all year except for that one time, and it came through. So I'm not a bettor. So I'm sorry. Okay. No bet.
Okay. All right. Well, if Q is right, that's one half the equation of the first game of the season. Let's go over to Baltimore, Kansas City. Now, before anybody, I'm not saying you guys can do this, but before anybody says, well, Kansas City's going back to Super Bowl, Kansas City's this, that, and the third, I want you to understand something. Kansas City had to come back on a depleted Buffalo Bills defense. They needed a missed field goal, wide right, again, to win that game. Kansas City is not, I repeat, is not that good. People want to talk about how Travis Kelce broke his funk by getting 2 touchdowns. Yeah, against a banged up and they did a very good job for what they had. Buffalo Bills secondary and defense. Lamar Jackson ain't having it. That running game ain't having it. That defense definitely is not having it. I understand Kansas City has, the poster boy of the NFL and Pat Mahomes. I get it. But 6 years ago, Lamar Jackson made a promise to the world when Deion Sanders, was interviewing him after after he got drafted. He said he's going to bring Baltimore a championship. And I promise you, no matter what Jerry wants to go back and forth with me about Todd Monken and the offensive coordinator thing, this offense, this Georgia college offense works for him. And it works for them. I honestly don't think Kansas City is going to be close in this game. I think, because if you go back to the regular season, and I know it's just revisionist history, when Baltimore had to go to San Francisco and they were like a 4-point underdog because San Fran was just that much better. San Fran got the doors blown off of them. And I believe Lamar wants to prove that point again versus Kansas City. Yeah, this guy's been to the championship, 5 out of the last 6 or 5 out of the last whatever.
5 out of 5.
No, he hasn't been to the championship 5 years in a row.
Yes, this is 6 years in a row.
Yes,
this is 6 years. Yes. This is his 6th year in a row, bro.
It's not. Cincinnati went. Remember? Cincinnati went versus the Rams. So it's
but he lost in the championship game.
Well, I'm talking about going to the Super Bowl.
We're talking about championship game.
I know. Listen what I'm saying. He wants to stop that. This guy is unbeatable. This guy is going to go back to back to back or whatever. It's not going to happen. I believe Baltimore as a team, not just Lamar, because we know what happens when people talk bad about Lamar. I think they win by 10. I got Baltimore by 10. I'm gonna let JT go, and then I'll go to Q. And Chris says KC Baltimore best game of the weekend. Go ahead.
Okay. Pat Mahomes and Lamar Jackson has played 4 games against each other. Pat Mahomes has won 3 of those 4 games. Lamar Jackson has never been to the AFC Championship.
Here we go.
Okay? He's never been to the AFC Championship. Lamar Jackson record in the playoffs is 2-3. Okay? 2-3. I'm not lying, people. This is the truth. This is actually stats that I'm looking at, and I knew them last week, and I'll say them again this week. Pat Mahomes, in order to beat the king, in order to be the king, you got to beat the king. Okay? If he beats him, then I'll succeed that he is not the king, but he's taking a step. He'll be 500 in his playoff appearances. 500. Okay? That's 500 for most people, except for baseball, is mediocre. It's just 500. Okay? I like the Kansas City Chiefs in this. Like I said, in order to be the king, you got to beat the king. Right now, who's on it? It's not Derrick Henry. We're talking about Pat Mahomes. And Pat Mahomes is not over the hill. And he's been pulling his team to another Super Bowl with everybody jumping on the Lamar train. I'm not. I haven't been, and I'm still not. Kansas City Chiefs. I like the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. It's definitely going to be close. I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
Okay.
1 and 2. Number 1 defense in Baltimore. Number 2 defense in Kansas City. That's going to be. It should be epic. That's the KC Baltimore best game of this weekend. I truly believe that.
Okay. Q, talk to me.
Jerry, you know what happened to you last week, bro.
Okay.
You pretty much gave the same rant, the same spill on Houston against Baltimore last year.
That was a rookie quarterback.
I mean, okay. So all the times that Lamar has played Pat Mahomes, it's not this team. It's not this team. It's not this defense. It's not in Baltimore. Bro, this is gonna be an ass whooping. Give me Baltimore all day. Okay. At least 10 points.
Let me put it this way.
Put it that way.
Please, you guys stay off the chat if Kansas City wins this game. Please stay off the chat if Kansas City wins this game.
Hey, Jerry,
you need to stay off the chat.
Yeah, because what's gonna happen is no. What's gonna happen is if Baltimore win, Jerry's gonna stay off anyway. Because he's gonna be like, well, all right.
Yeah. Hey,
you know what he's gonna say? You know what he was gonna say? So I was wrong. So what?
Yeah, that's exactly what he's gonna do. Exactly.
Okay. So wrong. Yeah, I was wrong. What are you? Shoot me if I'm wrong. Well, I mean,
exactly. So you're speaking with all that conviction right now. You should speak it after too.
I do.
No, you just say.
No, you don't.
We can't all be perfect.
Thank you.
That's what I'm saying.
You're right.
Oh my God.
Right.
Okay, look. All I'm gonna say is this, JT.
Hey, I'm just giving my opinion. My opinion.
Please.
My opinion.
Please.
I'm telling you, my
$50 on it.
Mm.
Put $50 on it.
No,
please.
I'm not a
please.
I'm not a betting man. I'm not a betting person.
And when Baltimore wins, just know I'm coming for your neck in the chat.
Okay.
I'm telling you this right now. The winner of this game is gonna win the Super Bowl.
I do believe that, Q. The winner of this game is going to win a Super Bowl. I do believe that. I think this is AFC Super Bowl to win. I do believe that.
And if we're going to go with conspiracy theorists, which one of the things is the last 3 Super Bowls, they've had the colors of the teams that participated in the logo. Now they say that they do this the year prior, right? So it was Cincinnati's orange and the Rams gold.
Yeah, yellow.
It was Eagles green, Kansas City's red, and this year it's purple and red. Only one team wearing purple. I'm just saying. That's what the conspiracy theorists say. And if it is scripted, then there you go. But
if you want to dig deeper into that same conspiracy right there, if you look at all those colors, if you look at the teams that won the Super Bowl, they have little color in that whole image. The ones with the most color, they lost the Super Bowl. If you go look at them.
So that means San Fran. They got San Fran.
That means San Francisco. They had San Francisco winning the game. If you go based on that theory.
Wow. Interesting.
Look at it. For the Rams game, it was only a little bit of yellow. Rams won. For the Eagles game, it was mostly green. Kansas City won. For this one, it's mostly purple. So whatever.
We'll see.
I mean, if we're saying conspiracy.
If we're saying conspiracy theories. All right, Q. Do you have any teasers for us?
I do. I love my 4-team teaser because there's only 4 games.
Okay.
4 teams.
Hold up. We gotta get a commercial in. Let's get a commercial in, and then we'll do your teasers in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey, hero. Don't be a zero. You get a 15% off military discount at 624coffeecompany.com. For more info, visit the website. Verify status. Stop drinking dirty water, people. You deserve great coffee. Great coffee for great people. That's 624coffeecompany.com.
Perfect. All right. With that being the case, it's time. It's time to give the man and the people what they want. A 14 teaser. It's time for a daydream. All right, Q. Here you go. It's all yours.
We're going to keep this simple and sweet. We're going to take the Lions plus 14.5 and the over 44.5 on that game.
Okay.
And for the Baltimore game, we're going to take Baltimore plus 2.5 and under 51.5.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's it. Short and sweet.
I like that. Repeat that for the people again, please.
We got the Lions plus 14.5 and the over 44.5 on that game. And for the Baltimore game, we have Baltimore plus 2.5 and under 51.5. That's Q's teasers for this week.
That's right. 4 in the hole. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got today. That's it. JTAT and Money, talk to me. What's going on tomorrow?
Tomorrow, well, quite naturally, I'm going to expand on your coaching hire. Now, we do know that we have more coaches in place than we had last week.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to talk about those coaches in place fantasy-wise, how it's going to affect the fantasy landscape going into 2024. 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, people. Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, and Facebook. That's YouTube, Facebook, and X, formerly Twitter. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The 4 Norwegian fantasy football. You see it in my background. That's what you're going to hear.
All right. With that being the case, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I appreciate the love.
We're keeping you up.
Excuse me. Yeah.
When do you go, man?
As far as the process?
As far as the information you sent me this past week.
You talking about the board?
Yeah.
Well, one started, and the other one will probably start in February. So we'll see.
Okay. All right.
We shall see. But with that being the case, Q, I'm gonna send you something in a few minutes. Hopefully we can get something done. But if not, it is what it is. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I appreciate you. I love you. And thank you for the support. Thank you for the support. We are here. We do our best to make you happy and have fun. We out.
Nice talk.
You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
The other dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Oh!
Eric's gonna get him.
Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics. Fantasy sports and politics.
Listeners are asking questions.